Alright everyone, let's talk about units that have not yet released on Global compared to when they released on JP, and what this could mean for the potential big surprise at the end of the half anniversary events on Global. And I want to bring attention to the Pure and Poo exchange shop, because we actually saw something very similar with the Awakened Lily event. And if you go here to the question marks, you'll see the unrevealed item, which even looks very similar for a special type of currency from Pure and Poo. And of course, with the Awakened Lily event, this was the release of Mono. But the thing is, they released Mono by herself without Easton. So a lot of people are guessing that this could be the unveiling of Easton. And I still think that's the most likely answer, but of course, it's not confirmed yet, and there are several other units that we have not yet gotten on Global compared to the timeline of when they got them on JP. So whether they're going to be the big surprise, whether Easton's going to be the big surprise, these are units that we could probably expect to be coming to Global sometime in the next couple of months or so. So let's talk a little bit about this, and of course, I have the release order on JP. Obviously, we've seen Global do things quite a bit differently, but I want to, first of all, leave out the Halloween units, because I think there's a really good chance with Halloween actually coming up pretty soon that we're going to see the release of the Halloween units come out during Halloween. Now, we did not see that for the Valentine's and the New Year's units, but obviously Valentine's and New Year's are much further away compared to Halloween. And I also do not want to talk about Gloxinia, because I already have a video out talking about Gloxinia, and I still think he is coming up very, very soon, especially considering that if you do look at the timeline, you'll see that the red Gloxinia is actually not out yet, because on JP they released one version earlier, one version much later, and it wouldn't surprise me if we have a dual Gloxinia banner where they release them both at the same time, and that kind of happens at around the timeline that you'll see the red Gloxinia here. So, you know, within the next few weeks to the next month or so. But let's scroll back up here, because at the top of the list, I had a unit. This is the unit furthest back in the list that we have not yet gotten on Global. And I know a lot of people have been wondering when he is going to come out. Not necessarily because they really, really want him, but maybe for the memes. I don't know. He's okay. He's not absolutely awful, but you know, can't say there is an insane amount of hype around this unit, and that is the Red Fat King right here. We have still not gotten Red Fat King, and crazy enough as well for me, I am actually missing one of the Fat Kings that comes from the Part 1 banner. It's crazy considering the amount of Part 1 summons and tickets that I've opened up. I have not yet gotten the Green Fat King, but nonetheless, I'm not too sad about it. The Red Fat King is not out on Global, and if you take a look here at his skill kit, it's not terrible or anything like that. It's just not really that great, you know, considering he's Fat King, kind of a meme. I can't say there's going to be a ton of hype or a lot of people really going for, you know, these summons when they come out. Maybe Shotten or Seaton, maybe him, but besides the super whales, I don't really know. But I really do like his passive. His passive is pretty good. Removes debuffs on the hero at the start of every turn. That's a solid passive right there. But looking into his skill kit, inflicts damage equal to 150% attack on all enemies. Then the rank 2 bumps up the damage a little bit, but fills his ult gauge by 1. And then the rank 3 bumps up the damage to 300% and fills his ult gauge by 2. So, you know, that's a solid AoE right there. Second ability, though, he's kind of got this, you know, AoE damage, AoE heal hybrid. Heals HP of all allies equal to 100% of attack and rejuvenates for 3 turns, which is going to be additional healing over time. And then, of course, his ultimate inflicts damage to 560%, 640 with the combined attack, and decreases defense-related stats, and that goes up to 960% with his ultimate fully maxed out. So, hey, Fat King could definitely be around the corner. I would be absolutely shocked, though, if Netmarble decided to make Fat King, Red Fat King, the big surprise in the Pure and Poo shop, and the big surprise for the half anniversary. I don't know, though. It could happen, especially with the way that Global's been going so fast. It would be the biggest troll ever from Netmarble if they did it, though. So moving along here, the next unit that we have not yet gotten is Alat. So Alat we should also be getting sometime in the near future, and you know, if you take a look at her skill kit right here, her passive seems to be pretty decent. Increases crit damage of allies by 5% per hero skill use, limit 10 times. So, you know, that's a decent amount of extra crit damage. Definitely going to be useful for certain units, but looking at her skill kit, she's got a detonate ability. It is a single target, and another thing is both of her skills are single target. but Detonate just feels like it kind of gets the, you know, it's just not really one of those effects that seems like it's used as much or comes in handy as other, you know, skill effects, I guess you could say. 20% additional damage per orb in the target's ultimate move gauge. So, you know, you can get some extra damage out of this, but I still feel like Detonate's not really one of those super desirable skill effects. You can see the damage 160, up to 240, up to 400, and this is important because, you know, if you have a unit that doesn't have Detonate or one of these skill effects, you'll see that their skill cards, their rank 3 can go up to 600% damage. So essentially, you're sacrificing 200% damage off of this card here for the Detonate, which, you know, is definitely a bit of a problem there as well, but... moving into the second ability, inflicts damage equal to 180% of attack on one enemy and decreases the crit resistance and crit defense by 30% for 1 turn. So that's pretty interesting right there. That's obviously going to allow you to do a bit of extra damage. So, you know, not quite the same as decreases defense, but hey, that's something right there. Inflicts damage to 270%, so bumped up the damage, and the crit resistance, crit defense debuff to 40%, still 1 turn. And then the rank 3 inflicts damage to 450% on one enemy, decreases crit resistance and crit defense by 50% for 2 turns. So a lot more damage, 40 to 50%, and now it's 2 turns instead of 1. So pretty big buff there from the rank 2 to the rank 3. But what I really do like is her ultimate. I think she's got a very, very solid ultimate. It's too bad that the other components of her skill kit are maybe not the absolute best, but removes debuffs and grants debuff immunity on all allies, increases defense-related stats of all allies by 100% for 4 turns. You know, 100% defense-related stats, 4 turns, removes debuff immunity. That is a lot of defensive survival type stuff on the ultimate right there. So very, very good. It doesn't heal, but, you know, you've got pretty much everything else survival-related besides healing. So pretty solid. And now moving along here to the next unit that we have not yet gotten, and that is Bellion. And I think out of the 3 that I've talked about so far, he's probably the best out of the 3, and I think he's actually got a decent skill kit. It's not bad at all. Getting into his passive, heals 30% of diminished HP every time a debuff is removed from the hero. So you definitely have to be careful debuffing him, or he's going to end up getting heals off of that. And that is skill card 1 inflicts shatter damage, which does ignore resistance, so you are going to see this hit for, you know, quite a bit harder than a normal attack that would only do 120% damage. So inflict shatter damage equal to 120% of attack on all enemies. Then the rank 2 goes up to 180, and then the rank 3 goes up to 300%. So 300% and shatter on an AoE, that can definitely be a pretty solid amount of damage right there. So, you know, you might see that hitting very hard. Then his second skill card here, it might remind you of somebody. It took me a little while to recognize whose ability this is, but it is quite similar to Red Helbram. There might be some other units that I don't know off the top of my head as well that have this skill card, but it's a pretty interesting one. Inflicts damage equal to 120% of attack on one enemy and depletes 1 ultimate move gauge orb. Then the rank 2 is the one that bumps up the damage by quite a bit, but it still only depletes 1 ultimate move gauge. So the nice thing about this ability is you don't have to get it to rank 2 in order to deplete the ultimate like you do for a lot of similar abilities. It depletes the ultimate right away on rank 1, but it doesn't really do a whole lot of damage. And then inflicts damage. I guess this is Merlin's card as well, right? Merlin and Red Helbram. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's right. Inflicts damage to 300% of attack on one enemy and depletes 1 ultimate move gauge orb. And then the rank 3 bumps up the damage again, but now instead of depleting 1 ultimate gauge, it depletes 3. So, you know, pretty good card right there. And then you've got the ultimate. Inflicts damage equal to 525% of attack on all enemies. So just a straight up AoE, no extra stuff added on top of it. And you can end up getting this up to a 790% multiplier with a 6 out of 6. So, you know, I think he's definitely got some potential. Hopefully he comes out on a step-up banner like he did on JP so that, you know, you don't have to risk RNG and bad luck getting him. And I think 242 gems would be a nice price in order to get him. And, of course, the very last unit, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time because I've already talked about her quite a bit in several other videos, but that is what everybody is expecting the hidden surprise from the Pirampu Challenge to be here, of course, and also what the, you know, the unrevealed event shop currency is going to be for, possibly costumes, and very, very possibly for, of course, Okay, not Bellion. Blue Easton. There we go. So Blue Easton is, of course, extremely good. She is awesome, and I am really, really looking forward to her banner, especially considering very likely she's going to be out on a step-up, just like Mono. I will be summoning for her because a great thing about step-ups is you know you're going to get the unit guaranteed at 242 gems. I know we've got a lot of other stuff on the horizon, and I know now is already the time that you probably want to start planning for Goddess Elizabeth, but with how awesome she is and how well she ends up fitting into the Red Demon team on Hell, and my team for that is the weakest out of the 3, she would be absolutely perfect for that. So, fantastic skill kit. She's got an AoE, which fills the ultimate gauge on rank 2 and rank 3. And then, of course, she's got the green Hellbrim card, which gives the attack-related stats of your entire team, which doesn't just include attack, it's also got the pierce rate, crit chance, crit damage. Her passive is super good. Basic stats for each buff on allies and enemies, and this is great for, death matches because you're going to be able to max that out a lot easier. So a lot of extra stats, and then spike damage, which is 2 times crit damage increase, which you should be able to get her crit up quite a bit with her buff. And that's going to be 350% spike damage up to 525% if you get her to 6 out of 6. So, that's what I'm really guessing it's going to be like, or the hidden surprise, I guess you could say, for the anniversary. But we still are looking at a couple of other units that could be out and coming around the corner. So definitely keep your eyes peeled and let me know out of these units here, who do you have plans to summon for? Anyway, that's going to be about it for the video for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and if you did and you want more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing to the channel. Feel free to toss a quick like as well. It means more than you can imagine, and more Grand Cross Global videos should be popping up right about now. Feel free to check them out, but if not, until next time, take care everyone. This is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.